Everybody out there in YouTube land, this is Will the Dragon Whisperer, back with another video for the channel, and I cannot wait to show you guys this video. I have had one of the most amazing experiences of my life. Recently, I reached out to Kevin McCURLEY from New England Reptile, and if you guys have never seen Kevin or watched their channel, please go check it out. I'll throw it up here on the screen, and in my opinion, Kevin is the Dr. Dolittle of our generation. Kevin has the ability to read animal behavior and develop relationships based on his ability to read that behavior better than any individual I have ever seen, and I have watched thousands and thousands of hours of YouTube video and video of other people working with animals throughout the course of my life, and I've never seen anyone like the guy. And I was privileged enough to have a Zoom call with Kevin today where we talked specifically about two of my animals, my Savannah Monitor Jax and my Tegu Bubba, and Kevin was able to watch me interact with those animals and give me some tips, and I can't wait to share those tips with you guys because I learned a lot through these interactions and a lot of information that I was not aware of. And Kevin was just a fountain of information, and I was kind of nervous during the call, so I hope I remember everything he told me. But we're going to go over some of those techniques today. I'm going to show you guys what I learned from that call and from Kevin, and I can't wait to show you guys these techniques, and I hope that they will help you interact with your animals, because really, when you're able to build these kind of bonds and you're able to get your animals to trust you, and which is much more important than you trusting your animals, once they trust you, then their world and our worlds really can intermesh, and that's where the real magic happens, and you really get to see these animals interact and behave like they would in nature because they're not afraid of you or they're not afraid of their environment. So we're going to get straight into the video. Sorry about the long intro, but can't wait to show you guys these techniques and tips and these two animals and everything I learned from Kevin. So let's hit the road. Now, one of the things Kevin suggested was to get through this next phase because as I've kind of talked about, and I'll talk about more, me and Jax are kind of at a stalemate right now, as Kevin described it in our kind of taming and interaction process. So I am going to give Jax this nice bowl of hard-boiled eggs. Normally Jax eats 80 to 90% invertebrates. He gets a lot of dubia roaches. I have my own colony, a lot of superworms, and then occasional things like hornworms, crickets very rarely, but occasionally when I'm having a hard time getting superworms, because I don't cull my dubia roach colony very often. But I am going to make sure Jax has a full belly, and then we're going to work on some things that Kevin told me to do to try to get past this next little phase in our relationship that we are at. All right, so here we have Jax, my Savannah Monitor, and one of the big key things, and I always wash my hands before I interact with my animals that are in this kind of situation, because you definitely don't want to have the scent of any food or any feeders on your hands. And so Jax has been fed. He's definitely full bellied there, laying in his basking spot. But I always approach my bigger lizards with my fist anytime I open their tank, just to let them know that I'm coming in and I'm not food. But one of the things that I was doing wrong was Kevin told me whenever I do come in here, I do this on a daily basis, but I do try to always make sure I'm in kind of a zen, spiritual, kind of a calm mood. If I'm wound up or something's going on that day and I'm upset, I try not to interact with my animals that I'm trying to tame down when I'm in that kind of attitude or mood. So I always make sure I'm calm, and I make sure my hands are washed. And then generally I would come in here and spend a little time every day petting Jax. I always offer him my fist first, and then I would come in here and just give him some light rubs on the back. Now, one of the points that Kevin made was that when you approach any of these animals from the top, that's how a predator is going to approach. That's how anything that's going to hurt them or harm them in the wild will generally attack them from above. So, just the initial coming into them from above is already going to have an increased odds of activating that fight or flight response, and not let them be calm. Now, right now, you can see Jax is not tongue flicking, and he's kind of wanting to close his eyes. He's opening them about halfway and watching me, but he's closing his eyes. And another mistake I was making was when I come in here with Jax, I would rub him briskly. I would kind of scratch him and rub him kind of quickly, and I always kind of felt like that would be more of a sensation to him, and be more of an intense interaction. But Kevin let me know that what really does a lot more good is starting up right behind the head in a long, slow stroke, so that you're touching a lot of the body and you're having contact over a lot longer period of time, and that contact's not being broken. It's a stream of contact, this a longer extended time, and it's more of a feel for the animal. Now see, he's started to get agitated. He moved a little, and at that point, anytime you see the animal getting agitated, getting worked up, you're starting to see any kind of defensive behavior, then you want to back up and step away. And then you want to come back later on, give them a couple hours, let them settle back down, and maybe attempt to interaction again. But whenever you start seeing the defensive or any kind of aggro behavior, definitely back away immediately. Like Kevin always says, you want threads of trust, and then over a period of time with consistency, those threads are going to form into a seriously strong bond, and you guys are going to get to that point where those worlds intermesh. So, but one thing Kevin told me is that I need to be able to come at him from below, and I need to be able to get my hand up under his chin, be able to rub him under his chin. So I'm trying to keep the hand flat, or the back of my fist, and if he was on the ground, I would actually push it down into the substrate. That would be very hard for him to get a bite. If he came from the top, he's going to be hard for him to get a bite. But Kevin really recommended the flat hand and really low, coming from underneath, flat to the surface. So he's laid his hands back there, which kind of really is a sign to me that he is relaxing. But I am a little concerned, as Kevin told me, that he's not tongue flicking. But I'm gonna see if I can come with the flat hand and come underneath here and rub him a little under the chin. And he closing his eyes and he's turning away. So that's another sign, especially in this species, that he's like, I'm not gonna tail whip you. I'm not gonna bite you. I'm not gonna huff and puff. But I'm gonna like pretend you're not there, and I hope you go away. Like I'm tolerating your behavior, and that's all I'm gonna give you right now. And that's not gonna increase our bonds of trust. So I'm gonna back away again and just leave him be. But those are some of the techniques that Kevin has given me with this vanity monitor, and really the knowledge of coming from above as opposed to coming from underneath, where I can really break his thought process that I'm going to do something bad to him from coming from above. So hopefully you guys will continue to watch the videos, and over the course of the next couple of months, I'm going to continue to work with Jax and continue to have these little threads of trust, and hopefully we can really increase this relationship that we have, where I can start picking this guy up and having some real interactions, putting a harness on him and taking him out in public. But I think we're at a good spot right now. I mean, he's a big guy; he could hurt me, and I feel confident sitting here with his door open and putting my hands on him and close to him without him biting me. And hopefully, you guys will learn a little bit from watching me have this interaction with him. Now he's kind of hiding back there in the corner, but there's the pretty boy. This is Bubba, my Argentine Tegu. And as you can, this is his enclosure. He's constantly redecorating it. He just pushes everything around and digs around all the time, so it never stays looking any one certain way. It's always in a state of disarray. And sorry about the reflection, the glare there. But this is Bubba. And if you guys have watched the previous videos on the channel about Bubba, he did escape the reptile room and was on the lam for a couple of months. And when I got him back, he was extremely wild, extremely food aggressive. I couldn't even put my hand against the tank, or he would run at it and bite at the glass. And then he went to brumation, and he's only been awake for about a week now. And this is another one of the animals in my collection that me and Kevin talked about today. And I'm at an impasse with him. He's starting to get big enough to hurt me, and at this point, I cannot touch him without him really going into fight or flight mode. But Kevin gave me some techniques to work with this guy, and we're going to show you a few of them. Now, one of the things I also should have said with the Savannah Monitor is, I know a lot of people when they talk about messing with animals like this that could be aggro or defensive, and especially once they're the size that can hurt you. I notice a lot of keepers and a lot of other YouTube guys will use gloves, big welder's gloves, big thick leather work gloves. But I'm a firm believer, and I know I've heard Kevin say it a bunch of times, that you want your animals to touch your bare skin. You want them to smell your bare skin, lick your bare skin. That's going to create the bond a lot quicker. The gloves may give you a protection, but that they're not helping that relationship get formed any faster by any means. That's creating a barrier between you and the animal that's only going to slow that process down. So I never wear gloves when I'm messing with these animals. I take that risk willingly because it's important to me that we establish that trust as quick as possible, especially these animals that can get big and grow really fast. But this is Bubba. He's been in straight exploratory mode. He's always looking for an escape. Very active little dude, and he's had his hard-boiled eggs today too. He is such a gorgeous guy. Sorry the glass is not as clean as it should be, but so we're gonna go ahead and try to start this interaction with Bubba. I'm gonna open the glass here, and I try to come in as, you don't want to come in like a hurricane or like a freaking banshee. You do want to try to approach the animals as quietly and as calmly as possible. As soon as he heard that door open, he became alert. But before he went into brumation, if I opened that door, he would charge that opening. Or if he saw my fingers or hands, he would charge at it. I couldn't. I mean, he was a psycho. And hopefully we're going to get that out of him here really quick. So one of the things I'm going to do is go ahead and same thing. I'm going to put my fist in here with Bubba, and I'm hoping that he is going to tongue flicks. We're seeing some tongue flicks. He is coming over. There was a sticker on the glass right there, so it's looking kind of ugly. But he's not wary of me right now. He's not posturing up. Now, Teggies will posture up really tall, try to stand tall, kind of flare up, and they will huff and puff, and to definitely tail whip you. And when he's really agitated, that tail will kind of circle back and forth like a snake. Now, see, I touched his tail just a little bit, and he turned around. But I'm going to go ahead and, I know one of the things that I've seen Kevin talk about is come in here and manipulate the things in their enclosure. Let him know that you're coming in here to be a part of his world, and that you're, not really afraid of him. He's tongue flicking, so he's very curious. You guys can see the tongue flicks, and that lets me know he's curious. He's checking out what's going on. See the tongue flick there? And I'm just going to come in here and move some things around, kind of fix some of the damage he's done, and reset some things that he's knocked over. And he saw him posture up a little bit there because I made a big noise near him. But that's the only things that we're going to be able to do with Bubba right now until, what I want him to do is approach me, but I definitely don't want to make him feel cornered or, get all up in his grill per se. So, me being able to come in here and be this close to him and move some things around, that right there in and of itself is a big accomplishment. He would not let me in his space at all a week or two ago. And we're gonna do the same things with the Savannah Monitor. Every day we're gonna come in here. We're gonna give him my hand. We're gonna try to get him to lick me and start to get a sense of me and my presence inside of his tank. And then we're gonna gradually move up to trying to pet him. And we're gonna obviously work, like I said, of coming underneath with the flat hand, coming up underneath. That way it's really a lot more harder for them to bite, and we really want to get up under that throat area and the neck area. Kevin always says nothing is sacred. You really want to develop a bond of trust in a level with your animal that you can touch that animal in any part of his body. If you need to do a wellness check, you need to get stuck shed off of them somewhere, you really need to be able to interact with that animal and its entire body, and it trusts you to do that. But that's where we are right now with Bubba. I can't wait to see you guys watch this relationship progress. I'm going to be able to put this guy up on my shoulder and take him out and put a harness on him and take him to some reptile shows and do some children's parties and some educational programs with this guy in the future. And I'm super excited for all the information that I learned from Kevin today. You guys, once again, this Will the Dragon Whisperer. Got one of my little baby dragons, Bella, here with me. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope the things you've seen in this video will help you with your lizards or your monitors or your tegus or whatever you have that you may be at an impasse or not sure how to move forward with your taming and your training techniques. So big, super big thanks to Kevin. Can't thank you enough. I hope our relationship will develop over the course of the next couple of years. And you've always been one of my heroes, one of my idols. And thank you so much. Smash that like button, guys. Ring that notification bell. Subscribe if you haven't, or at least please consider it. And thank you guys so much for the people who do support the channel. And I'm out.